Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com. Today's video is going to be all about Orient M-Force dive watches. I've got 8 or so watches here from different series, a couple of different colors from the same series. We'll go through each one in brief detail, show you them on the camera up close, things that you can't get from looking at them online. Talk about the specs, and you can see that these are extremely serious dive watches. So I'm going to start with the one in my left hand here. This is model number SEL 06001H. It also comes in a black color, which I'll bring up momentarily. So because it starts with an S, we know immediately that it is made in Japan. So we will refer to it just by its regular model number, EL06001H. So M-Force was started in around 1997 by Orient. It's short for mechanical force. And what it is it's supposed to be a serious dive watch. It's ISO certified for dive watches, also anti-magnetism, and also ISO certified for anti-shock. There is certain elements inside the case of the construction that makes it more shock resistant, as well. Of course, the movement is also shock protected, like all modern watch movements are. The movement is made in Japan. It's an Orient 40N5A, 22 jewel automatic self-winding. All these watches are going to have the same movement. So it's the 40N5A. They're all going to have 22 joules. They're all going to beat at 21,600 beats per hour. Okay, so let's get into this one here. So this is the Maroon Dial. It's got a unidirectional bezel, very nice clicking action. It's got luminescence on the hands and the markers. They all will, because now these are ISO divers. So ISO rating does not only mean 200 meter water resistant for diving, which it says on the dial right there. It's also a host of other things. It's ease of use, it's legibility. ISO International Standards Organization, they set the bar for what it is to have a dive watch. Something that I do like about the EL06 that's not present on the others is that on the crown guards it's got a red arrow. And if the red arrow and the red line on the crown are lined up, that means the crown is not fully seated. Actually, right now I don't have the crown fully seated because I was going to unscrew it, but I'll show you. So see, they don't line up at all, but then when you're ready to, if you have to unscrew it to set the time or wind it, what have you, it pops. And now it's past the arrow. Something I also want to mention on all of these watches, and this is a common complaint that we get, but there's nothing wrong with it. When you pull the crown out to the 2 clicks, the crowns on these are wobbly. Can you see that wobble? It's only being supported by the stem, but it's not meant to be used in this fashion. You should only be changing the time. So when you're done, and you want to push the crown back in, I just got to take off my gloves for a minute so I can get it. You push down and turn. And as you turn it down to fully seat it, it actually does keep winding the watch. That's something else that not a lot of other watches do, but Orient does. So this movement obviously has a power reserve indicator. So as you wear the watch or wind the watch, it will build up to about a 40-hour power reserve. Has a date. In a little small window at the 3 o'clock. It's covered up by the hour hand right now, and a nicely done chapter ring. So the dial on this is gorgeous, and we'll obviously see luminescence if we lower the lights. Glows extremely well. I would say it definitely is on par with LumaBrite. And something I'm noticing now is that the power reserve indicator, the hand at the 6, is also loomed. It's a nice little touch, and if I pull this away, you can see all the other ones in the background as the camera tries to focus on them, but they're all lit up. It's nice. Okay, so as I mentioned, this guy also comes in black. I just got to find it in my... Here it is. So now this is the black version. This is EL06001B. Same watch, just with a black dial. So now these are 47 millimeters in diameter, without the crown or the crown guards. They're 53 tip to tip, and they're a little over 13 millimeters thick. So actually not that thick for a nice bulky dive watch. Orient sign buckle, sapphire crystal, flip lock, double push button deployant. The bezel on these is done in black, and again, it has very nice, rotating action. So from this, I'll move on to the EL03, which instead of being a lefty crown, has the crown tucked away at the 4 o'clock position. So these are the EL03 M-Force watches, and this is going to come in black, blue, and orange. I have the black and blue here today. I don't have the orange. So the only difference here, it's the same movement, so the specs are a little bit different. It's 46 in diameter, and it's 52 tip to tip. Yeah, there. And it's around the same thickness, around 13 millimeters. So, but these watches are the same, just different dial colors. And all they've done, Orient's done, is to spun the movement around. So now the date is on the far left. The power reserve moves to the top right instead of being at the bottom. But it's, more or less you're getting the same, I'll say the same quality watch. It's got the red stripe on the crown again, but no arrow, so you kind of have to get a visual of if the red stripe is past the crown guards, then the crown is popped out. So I'll bring up the blue, because we all know what black looks like. And you'll see it's, they do them all very nicely. Sapphire crystals, made in Japan. Excellent, application of lume. The bezel on these is more of a two-tone, silver and a black. Can you see the black is where the numbers are, and then the part that pops up is silver. Very easy to turn. They've graduated it very nicely. And I'll do a lume shot just because it's simple, but you can see it glows very well. And then there's the new release. Oh, excuse me, before I get to the new release, let me pull up, I have one more EL03, and this is just on a rubber strap. So this is an all black bezel, black dial. Instead of being on a bracelet now, it's on a rubber strap. So it's the same watch that you just saw, except that they've got it on rubber. If rubber is more your speed for diving, then this would be the better choice for you. Still a 200-meter diver. Again, the same movement, that 40N5A movement, 22 joules. 21,600 beats per hour, sapphire crystal, made in Japan, whole 9 yards. Okay, I'm sorry. Now I'll bring up the one that was released either late last year or earlier this year, the M4s Bravo. So here the Bravo just, it adds some color to the mix now. They've taken the power reserve indicator, they've made it a little more colorful. And the minute hand is a different color so that you can really, diving watches, the minute hand you like to have a different color because minutes are what's important while you're underwater, not the hours. The M4s Bravo comes in black, blue, and orange. I will bring up the orange in a second. This is the same size as the previous one. Tip to tip, it's 52. But in diameter, it's just 1 millimeter smaller. It's 45 millimeters in diameter, and a little over 13 mils thick. Again, we're watching with the same movement, same amount of joules. But now they've colored the bezel a little bit. Same luminescence. Glows very well. Good application of lume paint. So I'll bring up the orange now next to the blue. You can see these two together. Orange has a nice pop to it. They've decided to not, make the 0 to 20 a different color on the orange. I guess more of a styling thing. All have that same high quality bracelet. Solid link, oyster style, fold over clasp, double push button deployant. So I'll put that one down, and then you can see the links. And if you have a good eye, you can see that these use pins and collars just like your Seiko Monsters. So if you're sizing it yourself, please be very careful. You will push out the pins and not realize you lose the collars. So if you bring it anywhere to get done, to get adjusted, just make sure they know what they're doing. Tell them it has pins and collars. Don't find out, when you walk out of the place that has it done and the watch falls off your wrist, and then you come and blame us that we sold you something that's broken. So these are excellent, high quality dive watches. As I said before, they're ISO rated, which kind of takes the place of the Mako and the Rays that Orient makes, which are not ISO rated. The Seiko 007s, 009s, those are ISO divers. So this is where the Orient ISO divers begin, at the M-Force line. I don't know, which one's your favorite? I like them all. I guess I happen to like the Bravo more. I like the color that they did. Maybe not the orange dial. I like the black dial. I like how they did the pop with the yellow. The yellow on the bezel. But all of them, even though they're slightly large, the crowns are unobtrusive. On this one the crown's on your left. On this one the crown's tucked away on the right. So it's really never going to get in your way. Anyway, this has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com talking about Orient M-Force dive watches. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to our channel if you have not done so yet. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below and I'll be sure to address them as soon as I can. Thank you very much.